what is the return on investment that you're going to make from getting a new website? And also, what is the opportunity cost that you're paying right now for not taking action? When you are choosing a website designer, you really need to think of, okay, do I want to provide all of this information and have to work on a lot of these things myself? We specifically focus on Google marketing. So that could be Google Ads or SEO. But another thing that we provide as a part of our website design services is... Welcome to Websites That Convert, the podcast where your website stops being a liability and transforms into your greatest asset. I'm your host, Shannon, and I'm going to guide you through the strategies and insights you need to build a website that not only attracts, but converts. Let's dive in. So today's episode is a little bit of a different one. I'm going to be going through the 5 most common questions that we get in the agency about website design. This is probably going to be the first of a few part series, just because we do get so many questions, and I'd love to just answer them here on the podcast for you so you have all the information that you need to make the decision as to whether a new website is something that you want to pursue. I'll also go through in future episodes frequently asked questions about other services like our search engine optimization, Google Ads, website maintenance services, but today's episode is all about website design specifically. If you have any other questions that come up through this episode or any of the other podcasts, please feel free to reach out and submit them to us. I would love to create more content that's really relevant to the questions that you have, and whether that's just answering them directly through a frequently asked questions episode like this one, or a dedicated episode where I can expand on the topic a little bit more. I would love to know what's on your mind, what questions do you have, so that I can create super valuable content for you here on the podcast. So the first and most common question that I get in the agency in regards to website design is, how much does it cost? This is not an easy question to answer because it depends on a number of different factors, including the strategy of your website, the goals that you have, as well as, at the end of the day, what service provider or agency that you go with. Website design has got to be one of the most variable pricing industries that I've ever seen. You can get a website done very, very cheap, or you can get one done very, very expensively. Where you sit really depends on obviously your budget, but going with a super cheap option is really one of those situations where you get what you pay for. The real question that should be asked here, instead of what is the cost, is what is the expected return on my investment? So you don't want to pay like a couple of grand or a couple of $1,000s for a website with no guarantee of what the outcome or return on investment would be. And you definitely don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on something that isn't going to get you results either. So while cost itself is obviously a factor when it comes to what you can budget, the real question that should be asked here is, what kind of return on my investment can I expect? Because if you pay a few hundred or even just a few $1,000s for a website that isn't going to get you the result or outcome that you actually want, you're not going to see a return on investment, then that is going to be wasted money. Whereas if you invest something that may be a little bit more significant in terms of the upfront cost or cost overall, but it is going to almost guarantee a return on investment and results for your business, which one are you going to choose? Well, if your goal is business growth and scaling and lead generation, then you're going to want to invest your money in something that is going to get you that result or outcome that you're looking to achieve. So while I can't say exactly what the cost of a new website is going to be for you and your business right here on the episode, obviously if you want to know our pricing and what kind of return on investment that you can expect from working with us, you can book a free website strategy session. But just know that you can get a website very, very cheap. You can get one for tens, hundreds of thousands even, but that's not the point. The point is, what is the return on investment that you're going to make from getting a new website? And also, what is the opportunity cost that you're paying right now for not taking action? The second most common question is, how long is a website design going to take? Is it going to be days, weeks, months, years? Well, again, it depends on the service provider that you go with, But generally, our process is when you come on board, you complete an intake form. We then refine your branding or do branding for you if you need. And then your website is launched within 2 to 4 weeks. This can vary slightly depending on the number of pages that we need to build, which will be defined by your website strategy, which is an important part of the onboarding process. But generally, if you're going to a provider that isn't giving you a specific process or timeline of what you can expect, then it's very likely that they're not going to have a proper structure around the way that they're delivering their services. And it could potentially take a lot longer for you to get the website online, and hopefully it's a website that is going to get you results. But regardless, you want to get that up and running as soon as possible. Now, I have talked with a lot of business owners who have worked with agencies and providers which haven't had this process and structure in place, and it's ended up taking months and up to a year or even multiple years to get a simple website online. So when it comes to how long the process is going to take, it again depends on who you work with. But with us, you'll generally have a website up and running, getting you leads and getting you new clients and customers into your business within around 4 to 6 weeks for the entire process. But we work on a 4-month container, so you'll be working with us for a minimum of 4 months, but that website should be up and running within the first month or just at the beginning of the second month, so we can have it up and running and start marketing your business for you. So, or the answer to the question, how long does the process take of building a website? It depends, but we take around 4 weeks in total from when you get started with signing up with us. But there are a lot of providers that take months, or it could take even a year or two in some cases, which isn't ideal. The third most common question is, what do I need to provide? So again, if you work with a provider who requires you to provide all of the copy, branding, all of the information and content for each and every page, you may need to have multiple design meetings. You may need to provide examples of the exact website that you want built, or some cases, some agencies will use pre-made templates that you need to choose and that kind of thing. With our process, we literally do everything for you. So all you need to provide in this situation with us specifically is your intake form, which is sent to you as soon as you sign up. You do need to provide a logo and branding if you have it. Obviously, we can help you create that if you don't have it, but if you do, you do need to provide us with it. And there's just a few clarification questions and information that we need to get from you in order to start building your strategy and building your website pages. But in terms of what you actually need to provide, the main thing is your intake form, your logo and or branding if you have it, and just be available to answer questions in that onboarding process, which is the first 1 to 2 weeks of getting started. Now, going back to the first question of how much is this going to cost, and also the second question of how long is this going to take, what you actually need to provide is something that you need to be kind of mindful of when you're choosing a provider as well. So if you're choosing someone who it's going to cost $500, for example, I'm pretty sure there are really, really cheap options out there, and you may be able to find someone to build you something for that cost. I don't know. But if you do, the likelihood, obviously, of it being a good website is very, very low, and their support and all of the other things are probably pretty poor as well. But one thing is you'll probably have to provide absolutely everything for that website. Whereas if you choose a provider who has a little bit more support, or the things they're providing is at a higher level, that means that you don't have to be distracted from your business and the things that you're doing and working on or in right now to help grow your business in other ways. You can still focus on and know that you have a provider or an agency who's doing it all for you. So when you are choosing a website designer, you really need to think of, okay, do I want to provide all of this information and have to work on a lot of these things myself? Or do I want to choose someone who does it all for me and allows me to focus on my business, serving my clients, and reducing the amount of distractions or things that I need to do on this project in order for it to be a success? The fourth most common question is, what kind of support and marketing do you provide after the website is launched? So we specifically focus on Google marketing. So that could be Google Ads or SEO. This depends on your market, whether we think Google Ads will be profitable for you, and also your overall budget. But another thing that we provide as a part of our website design services is ongoing hosting and maintenance. So as a WordPress website is a content management system, it's not a specific website builder like your Wix and Squarespace and things like that. We require hosting for your website files and database. So we keep all of that on our server. We update all of the software. We make sure it's secure. We provide you with all of the software and plugins that your website requires in order for it to work properly and function optimally. And we also just make sure that we are available for you for technical support when it comes to your website. So you have full access to update your website content if you want to. So if you want to change images, text, if there's anything on there, just minor things that you want to update, you have the complete freedom and flexibility to jump in there and do it yourself. But we are there to support you with these things if you need, or if there's something more complex. But in terms of marketing, pretty much everyone that works with us will go onto a marketing plan, which includes your Google marketing strategies, whether that's paid ads or organic. And we provide that in a minimum 4-month container, which is for your website and your Google Ads and or SEO marketing during that time. And we find that that gets the best results with the majority of clients then continuing on after that. So in terms of ongoing support, we ensure that there's a way to get you traffic after the website is launched, because we know that having a website that converts is not just about the platform itself, it looking good and being able to turn leads into and turn visitors into leads. It's also about how we're driving the right people to that website so that you have the chance to convert them from people just viewing into leads and inquiries, bookings, or quotes for your business. And on a side note, this is entirely done for you. So I think this is something that's often forgotten when someone is like comparing a website provider, is the difference between someone who says that they'll like kind of do it for you or provide a service to an agency that's going to do it 100% for you. That is something that needs to be considered, because again, you don't want to have yourself in a situation where you're going to be distracted and pulled away from the day-to-day things that you need to do in your business in order for it to be a success. So all of our support is 100% done for you, support at the highest level, and we absolutely love serving our clients like this, and we know that it is the most effective and successful way to drive results for service-based businesses that want more leads and clients through their website. Now, the last question is, how do you measure success? So once a website is launched, how do you know if it's actually effective? Well, we always assess effectiveness on website conversions. So conversion tracking needs to be set up inside Google Analytics or other Google tools after a website is launched. And in order to know if a website is successful, we need to see that traffic has increased. So if we're doing your Google marketing, which you should be if you're working with us, you should see an increased amount of users from Google coming to the site. And this is such valuable traffic because these are people that are actively searching for the services that you offer. So we look at how much traffic you're getting, how many leads you're getting through the website, and then what the traffic to lead conversion rate is. So that's the overall website conversion rate. This is the website that converts podcast. Everything that we do in the business is about getting website conversions. We are results based and we measure success based on how many leads are coming out of your website for you. So once a website is launched and we're doing your Google marketing, we're getting that traffic in. So we want to see an increase of Google traffic or traffic overall. We want to see an increased number of leads, ideally double or more. And we want to ensure or see that that website conversion rate, which is the visitor to lead conversion rate, is at a significant level as well. So generally the kind of industry standard is 2 to 5%. We try and get it more around the 4 to 9% mark. And we've found that has been achievable. Again, depends on a number of different factors and the kind of marketing that we're doing and your industry. But in order to measure success, and if a website is successful, we look at total traffic, number of conversions, and the overall website conversion rate. So I hope this has been helpful in answering the most common questions that we get in the agency about website design. If there are other questions that you have, please feel free to reach out. I will do a part 2 sometime in the future, or if there's specific topics that you'd love for me to speak about on the podcast, or even if you just have a question specific about your business that you'd like me to answer, please feel free to reach out anytime. You can find us on any of the social media platforms or our website, which is eastbound.digital. Use our contact form on there and reach out, and we would love to hear from you. But that is all for today's episode. Again, if there's anything else that you'd love to hear on here, please feel free to reach out. But that is all for now, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Websites That Convert. If you found value in this episode, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on all social media. And if you're a service-based business owner that's looking to double their website conversions, book a call with my team using the link below. I'll see you in the next episode.